Johnson at the bottom of your screen. Isolated with Zachary Bowman. Blitz coming. They throw it up to Johnson. Into the corner. Touchdown, Calvin Johnson! Unbelievable throw by Hill and a miraculous catch. Leaping high over Bowman by Calvin Johnson. And the Lions, who had one, are they saying, wait a minute, are now they overruling and saying he did not get it in bounds? The officials gathered down in the corner after the initial indication of touchdown.
The ruling on the field is that the runner did not complete the catch during the process of the catch. It is an incomplete pass. It will be third down, Detroit.
We talked about this with the officials before the game today. The process is the key word.
And you've got to continue through the play.
We will now review the previous play.
And for those of you that want to know, when the ball comes down here and touches the ground, he has to then maintain possession of the ball through the completion of the entire process of the play.
And Tom, we had a play very much like this in this very same game last year, where there was a reception in the end zone. He caught the ball, came out of the back of the end zone, and then dropped the ball, clearly after establishing position. This is not enough, as regrettable as it is, as much as this should be a touchdown.
All right, let's go to the Fox Command Center. The longtime head of the NFL officials, Mike Pereira, standing by. Mike, what can you tell us about this call on the field?
Hey, as Coach just said, this is the process. He's considered going to the ground, and when you go to the ground, you have to hold on to the ball after hitting the ground. It's all a process. In the end zone, it's not dead as soon as he gets possession. This is one where even after you hit, you've got to maintain possession of the ball.
Mike, this is what we were talking about. I think most fans at home wonder about this kind of call, however. Johnson clearly makes a catch. He comes all the way down to the ground, and we talked about the process. He's still holding it, still in possession. He's in bounds. His body lands. The ball touches the ground, and you're saying, and we were saying, I think if we're on the same page, that he had to maintain that position even getting back up. Is that correct?
He does, well, not getting back up, but when he makes contact with the ground, and again, we're talking about him going to the ground, if that ball comes loose when he hits the ground, it's going to be ruled incomplete. You just have, it's the
Mike, let me interrupt you a second.
That's been there.
Let me interrupt you a second, Mike. His body hit the ground before the ball made contact with the ground. I know he wasn't, you know, he's obviously in the end zone, so you don't need to be touched by a defender there. His body landed and was down in the end zone before his hand with the ball in it touched the ground. Does that make the play or the call any different?
No, because it's all the process. It makes no difference what hits. If it's a foot, 2 feet, the body, it's a process, and that's what you have to think about, a whole entire process, and it's not over until it's totally
Mike,
over.
as we look at it here, is this a second act? Is that, we talk about control, and now if a receiver lunges for the end zone or shows the second act, is that a second act?
Very good point. You know, was he trying to reach to gain additional yards or doing something else with the play? That's what I'm sure they're actually looking at right now to see if there might be a second act. I don't think you see really him visibly reach out for the ball or do something different with the ball. Holding it in one hand, but I still, in my opinion at least, and this is a tight one, in my opinion, he's going to the ground, and it's still all one process.
If they rule this a touchdown, will it not be because of that? It is the second act. They're saying, Hick, he had control, he hit, he was reaching out to kind of push himself back up. If it is a touchdown, it is that second act definition.
That's the only thing they could possibly rule, that he was trying to do something else with the ball, that he was reaching for additional yardage. That could be the only thing that could overturn this.
Mike, I know you're not in the prediction business, but you were the head of officials for a long, long time. Does this call on the field stand or not?
I was ahead of a long time, you're right, and I'm glad I'm not now when I see plays like this.
Let's see what he says.
I still think it stands.
Here's the call.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is an incomplete pass. It will be Detroit's ball, 3rd and 10 on the 25-yard line, and the ball will be placed on the hash mark nearest the Chicago Bears sideline.
So we thank Mike Pereira from our Fox Command Center for bringing all of us up to speed.
And what Mike is saying is very clear-cut here. They don't think there's the second act. It is the continuation in the process. It's unfortunate. Calvin Johnson thinking, I'm done. I've won the game. Now you got to reshift very quickly.